It's easy to spot math and science in schools, but what about learning when someone's trying to influence your mind for their benefit? Manipulation happens everywhere. Relationships, ads, even in politics. Usually with subtle tactics. Watch out for moves like guilt-tripping, twisting facts, or using authority to sway you. When you understand these tricks, emotional appeals, misinformation, crossing your boundaries, you become much harder to fool. Being informed lets you protect yourself and help others too. Knowledge isn't just power, it's your best line of defense. Gaslighting is a subtle yet powerful tactic that makes someone question their perception of reality. The term comes from a play where a husband dims the lights and denies it, causing confusion and self-doubt. It often starts with disbelief, wondering, did I misinterpret that? Over time, persistent denial escalates, sometimes leaving the target anxious or dependent. Gaslighting shows up not just in relationships, but families and workplaces too. If you notice growing self-doubt, seek support. Trust your instincts. They're crucial for recognizing and escaping manipulation. People often mistake overwhelming affection for genuine connection, but sometimes this is a deliberate tactic called love bombing. A manipulator may offer non-stop compliments, gifts, or attention, especially early on, hoping you'll depend on their approval. It's common not just in romance, but also in families, workplaces, even cults and political groups. Watch for rapid intimacy, sudden talk of soulmates, or pressure to commit quickly, especially if friends are pushed away. If things feel too much, too fast, trust your instincts. Healthy relationships build at a steady, respectful pace. Have you ever noticed how some people consistently frame themselves as the wrong party, no matter the issue? That's the victim card in action, a tactic where sympathy is used as a shield to avoid responsibility or sidestep criticism. You'll spot it when details get exaggerated, accountability gets dodged, or fairness gets painted as bias. Recognizing this pattern helps you respond with empathy while still weighing facts and context. Balancing compassion with clarity ensures real grievances are heard, and accountability isn't lost in the noise. Triangulation is a subtle tactic where a manipulator controls by bringing a third party into the dynamic, rather than facing conflict head-on. Picture a supervisor quietly telling employee A their project is failing, while blaming A's lack of effort to employee B. Confusion and mistrust grow between them. Or in a group of friends, someone pulls another aside to form an alliance against a third. The healthiest response? Encourage direct communication. Stepping out of the triangle stops the manipulation and strengthens trust in every relationship. Projection isn't just a term from psychology. It's an everyday tactic used by manipulators to dodge responsibility. Picture this. Alex hands in a report late, immediately blaming his coworker Sam for being disorganized. Over time, Sam questions his own abilities, even though Alex was responsible all along. Another example. A parent who once felt ashamed about their own lack of education now criticizes their child for not being smart enough. The child begins to carry shame that never belonged to them. Projection often sounds like accusations without evidence, a sudden reversal of roles, or an intense focus on your faults, often mirroring issues the other person refuses to face. When you notice these patterns, keeping notes and seeking outside perspective can help anchor your sense of reality. Clear boundaries and honest, assertive communication are your best defenses. The core truth: you never have to accept guilt or shame that isn't yours to begin with. Ever felt like you're doing everything right, but someone keeps changing the finish line? That's called moving the goalposts, a classic manipulation tactic. It's like playing soccer, only each time you're ready to score, someone shifts the net even further away. This usually happens in arguments, evaluations, or debates. Someone spells out what will convince them. You deliver, and suddenly, the standard changes. Take debates over science. Alex asked for 2 studies to be convinced. Someone brings them. Then Alex insists on more. Now 5 studies, but only from certain journals. In the workplace, you meet every expectation, but your manager invents a new requirement. Promotion always out of reach. The goal? To avoid resolution and keep you chasing endlessly. Watch for shifting standards or unclear requirements. The best way to protect yourself is to agree on fixed, clear criteria from the very start. Consistent boundaries turn moving goalposts into a fair game. Passive aggressiveness is all about what's left unsaid. Instead of sharing frustration openly, it sneaks out through missed deadlines, half-hearted efforts, or withheld information. You might notice someone consistently forgetting meetings or completing tasks so poorly they may as well not have tried. This behavior isn't always easy to spot. Words and actions often don't line up. Apologies come without change. Promises drift unfulfilled. Sometimes it shows up as an icy silence, backhanded compliment, or persistent procrastination. Why choose this indirect path? Often it's a way to avoid conflict or dodge difficult conversations. Maybe someone wants to assert their feelings without risking confrontation or being labeled as difficult. Yet over time, this creates misunderstandings and erodes trust. If you sense these patterns, delayed responses, unspoken grievances, it's worth addressing them gently with honest conversation. Clear, direct communication is the best antidote to confusion, keeping relationships constructive and resilient. Isolation manipulation is a tactic that quietly pushes people away from their support systems, friends, family, colleagues, so someone becomes easier to control. You might notice it as a partner urging you to stop calling your mom, or a boss discouraging friendships at work. Common signs include sudden social withdrawal, feeling watched, or being told others can't be trusted. Recognizing isolation early matters. Rebuilding connections, even one, can disrupt a manipulator's hold. If you recognize these patterns, know that seeking support isn't just okay, it's a powerful first step back to autonomy. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation where suddenly a minor mistake becomes evidence you're unreliable? That's magnifying. When someone blows up a small error, like a typo, into proof of major incompetence. On the flip side, sometimes meaningful issues get brushed aside. That's minimizing. Say you raise a concern about constant lateness, only to be told, it's just 5 minutes. It's a quiet way of saying your experience doesn't count. Then there's deflection, where you ask about a missed deadline, and the discussion turns into scrutiny of something you did weeks ago instead. Patterns matter, overreactions, dismissal, or shifting the conversation all signal manipulation. Standing firm is key. Keep the focus, stick to facts, and calmly redirect to the original point. Consistently encountering these tactics, document your experiences and consider involving a neutral third party. Recognizing manipulation empowers you to set boundaries and protect healthy communication. When you think about manipulation in relationships, 3 tactics stand out: guilt tripping, shaming, and judging. Guilt tripping often sounds like, if you really cared, you'd do this for me. It turns love into a test and pulls you into decisions through obligation rather than choice. Shaming goes deeper. It targets who you are or how you present yourself. For example, when a partner says, "You always embarrass me in front of my friends," it chips away at your confidence and comfort just being yourself. Judging is subtler, but just as impactful. It can show up through harsh words, dismissive looks, or comments like, "A responsible person wouldn't forget our anniversary." Over time, these judgments make you question your worth and tiptoe around someone else's standards. Noticing these patterns matters. They erode self-esteem and create fear-driven compliance. In a healthy partnership, respect and honest communication always take priority. In every healthy romantic relationship, trust and respect form the core foundation. However, manipulation can quietly creep in, often disguised as concern or affection. Let's start with intimidation. This might sound like, if you don't do what I want, I'll find someone else. Sometimes it shows up through a raised voice, cold stares, or leveraging secrets, making a partner feel small or unsafe. Another tactic is the ultimatum, statements like, "Move in with me, or we're done." These leave no room for real discussion or compromise, forcing one partner into a corner. Then there's exploiting insecurities, constant reminders that, "You're lucky I'm with you," or comparisons to an ex. These comments slowly erode self-esteem, making a person doubt their worth or ability to find happiness elsewhere. Recognizing these patterns is crucial. Everyone deserves a relationship built on kindness, open communication, and mutual support, not fear or coercion. If any of these behaviors sound familiar, reaching out for support can be the first step toward a healthier future.